resentment, fear, doubt will absolutely affect your decision-making. Again, you're zoning in on, I just don't want to lose this person. If you're worried about losing this person, they might not be the right person. What is it about them that's making you think this? Or more importantly, what's the story you're telling yourself? Most leaders, founders, CEOs, hiring managers, reporting managers, people have been burned. And so then they wait to hire. In doing so, they burn out their teams, they limit their organizational capacity. And at the end of the day, this fear, this doubt, this uncertainty negatively impacts everything. The sunk cost, the cognitive bias, people pleasing, not being willing to have that confrontational conversation. We don't want to be that boss, right? Like that's where we started with this. Like no one wants to be like the narky, micromanagey, critical, fear-based, force-based boss. Why does bringing an opportunity to improve make you think that you're going to be any of those things? There are ways that you can structure the hiring and firing process, but any relationship so that there are check-ins. You are making sure this is still a mutually beneficial exchange. They deserve the opportunity to get what they want just as much as you do. So how do you frame that relationship? I think at the beginning, a 30, 60, 90, I certainly didn't come up with this concept, but I rarely see it executed successfully in organization. Contract to hire, obviously not every role allows for that. But if you feel a lot of trepidation in terms of starting new relationships, building new relationships, you're the one with trust issues, not them. So you need to create a way of approaching and building that trust so that you feel safe in engaging in new relationships. Because to grow and scale, you need to engage in new relationships, right? So a 30, 60, 90, whether that's an internal sort of check-in process for you or a formalized, let's give this a go. This is what I expect at 30 days. This is what I expect at 60 days. This is what I expect at 90 days. And more important than expectations, concrete results. So many people that I work with and have an idea, let's say you're hiring a salesperson. You're like, well, I want sales. In 30 days? I mean, maybe, but let's say you're selling $100,000 service packages. 30 days might not be realistic. And in fact, in 30 days, you might just really want this person to be a good cultural fit, to be using the lingo within your organization, to understand your product suite, right? If you're selling $30 widgets, completely different. But then you should have some specific metrics. You should have been able to sell $130 widgets in 30 days. You should have X amount of leads in the pipeline or Y amount of follow-ups on the spreadsheet, right? Or in the system. So being incredibly specific and letting people know at 30 days, if we're not here, we have a problem. At 60 days, if we're not here, we have a problem. And that problem might be we no longer work with each other. And so we are both stepping into this knowing if this isn't a match, no problem. We're not going to play the game anymore. No harm, no foul, right? I do believe regular check-ins are the best way of approaching this. Tune into that. That's as someone who hates meetings and would probably sit in a cave and do my work and not talk to anybody ever. When we're engaging in new relationships and tune into what feels best and most supportive for both of you, but it might be daily 15 minutes. It might be weekly 45 minutes. It might be by so on and so forth. It's probably going to start off heavier and then get lighter as that trust builds, right? Last, I think this is an interesting one, and I've only really started playing with this more recently and seeing it implemented in the organizations that I get to spy on. Get a 360 feedback loop going. So it's not just about you and this individual. How are they engaging with your team? How are they engaging in your industry? How are they engaging with your vendors? So if you are a solopreneur, a team of the magical one, are you partnering? And I use that partnership term very specifically because any stakeholder in your business, any person that you work with is a partner in your business, even in your personal relationships. Depending on the size of your community or industry, the people that you partner with and choose to work with will reflect on you. You can do so much risk mitigation by making a few calls. You also build relationship and trust and your reputation in the industry. So it's a real win-win. Leading and managing and building isn't just moving people up the ladder. It's learning how to do this research, right? It's learning how to collate and report the data so that everyone, most importantly yourself, can improve. Because once you figure this process out, you can rinse, wash, repeat. You can literally create a system so you don't even have to be the one doing it anymore.